Welcome. In this bootcamp, we'll turn eIDAS 2.0 and the EUDI Wallet from regulation buzzwords into a concrete architecture. You'll design compliant, Azure-based onboarding and KYC flows, and leave with a reusable reference blueprint you can apply directly in your real projects. We'll begin by grounding you in the eIDAS 2.0 ecosystem and EUDI wallets. From there, we'll define a concrete KYC use case, map GDPR and AML requirements, and design a compliant target architecture. Then we'll dive into OIDC wallet protocols, Azure implementation and operations, and wrap up with a final capstone architecture pack. In this bootcamp, we treat eIDAS 2.0 as a design problem, not just a law. We start with the why: regulation, trust, identity assurance, and the real pain points in digital onboarding. Those needs become architecture inputs and concrete controls. You'll then design flows, components, protocols, and cloud patterns that implement those controls end to end. Finally, we'll translate your design into practical implementation choices, using real vendors and tools, so you walk away with a deployable blueprint. Wherever you're starting from, choose the learning path that stretches you without overwhelming you. If you're newer to these topics, move steadily and don't skip the foundations. If you're more experienced, focus on requirements, flows, and architecture decisions. As you go, capture assumptions, risks, and trade-offs in a notebook. That becomes your defensible design record. Think of digital onboarding as building a bridge. On one side, a customer wants instant access. On the other, a regulated service must prove identity, control fraud, satisfy auditors, and still respect privacy and UX. eIDAS 2.0 and the EUDI Wallet define a shared trust fabric for that bridge. In this module, we'll unpack why today's remote onboarding is fragile and how wallet-based identity reshapes the architecture for real KYC journeys. Digital onboarding is ultimately about making a yes or no decision with incomplete remote signals. You're trying to prove this is a real eligible person using a valid ID and trustworthy data without ever meeting them. At the same time, attackers test your defenses with synthetic identities, stolen documents, and replayed sessions. Success means tuning the system so that good customers sail through quickly, while controls, evidence, and operations stay strong enough to satisfy regulators and withstand fraud. Traditional KYC leans heavily on documents, selfies, and manual checks, and each step adds friction. Customers keep retyping the same details and re-uploading IDs. Documents are slow to verify, easy to alter, and often end up in manual review queues. When you combine different passports, formats, and national schemes, cross-border onboarding becomes fragmented and error-prone, driving drop-offs. eIDAS 2.0 pushes us from "show me your document" to "prove this specific fact about you." Instead of sending scans, users share structured attributes from their wallet, backed by trusted issuers. Relying parties verify signatures and trust chains, not pixels. They only request what's needed, which improves privacy and consent. Architecturally, this means designing flows for attribute requests, user approval, cryptographic verification, audit trails, and automated risk decisions. With eIDAS 2.0, digital identity moves from isolated onboarding processes to a shared, regulated trust layer. The European Digital Identity Wallet becomes the user's primary way to carry verified attributes and electronic attestations. Services no longer need to verify everything from scratch. They can rely on what the wallet presents under common rules. For architects, this means designing for interoperability and reusable trust services, rather than bespoke KYC flows for every application. Think of the EUDI Wallet as the customer's control panel for trust. Instead of uploading documents again and again, the user selects which verified attributes to share for a specific onboarding purpose. The relying party then checks three things: the credential itself, whether it trusts the issuer, and whether the data fits its policy. Good design keeps this journey transparent, secure, consent-driven, and easy to recover from mistakes or device loss. Cross-border onboarding breaks down when every country, issuer, and sector speaks a different identity language. People move, work, and bank across borders, but organizations still need to assess risk, apply local policy, and stay compliant. A shared trust framework provides a common translation layer. Wallets and issuers plug into that layer once, and relying parties interpret evidence consistently, while still tuning decisions to their own risk appetite and national rules. CK is where business urgency and regulatory pressure collide, which makes it the perfect anchor for eIDAS 2.0. Picture a digital bank onboarding a cross-border EU customer. The wallet supplies verified identity evidence, the bank app collects consent, a verifier checks documents, and the KYC engine scores risk. Compliance operations handle the edge cases. The outcome is a verified profile, an explicit risk decision, auditable records, and a usable customer account. Wallet-based onboarding turns compliance into a growth lever. Shorter, more predictable journeys reduce drop-off and lift completion rates. The same structured attributes that satisfy KYC also feed cleaner downstream data and better automation, shrinking manual review queues. Because trust is reusable, each new product or country launch needs fewer custom integrations. And richer evidence trails make audits easier, improve regulatory reporting, and give risk teams more confidence to accept good customers faster. For solution architects, eIDAS 2.0 means designing an onboarding journey, not just plugging into a wallet. You decide which attributes to request, justify each one, and capture consent. You then orchestrate verification, trust checks, and credential status with clear error handling. Outcomes must feed KYC, risk scoring, CRM, and customer profiles. Finally, you bake in privacy, retention, audit evidence, monitoring, manual review, and incident response as first-class architectural components. You've seen that digital onboarding is about managing risk, trust, and experience together. eIDAS 2.0 answers this with wallet-based identity, and KYC is the proving ground. Next, we shift from concepts to roles and responsibilities. Who issues identities, who uses them, and who relies on this shared trust?